You have Google, you have you have Facebook, which has directory of all these different people. There are all sorts of variations of these information technology companies with large databases, basically, where they have data on all sorts of stuff that about people, what they've done, and so on down the line. I think there is obviously a lot of danger about that. I guess two thoughts. On the current trajectory, the decentralization has still been outweighing the centralizing aspect. So if you take Google as one instance, it has, by enabling people to get access to information, it has created far more transparency. There was an issue in the 2004 presidential race where there was the Dan Rather memo was. Technologies like Google enabled that to sort of get exposed far more quickly than it otherwise would have, and so it's probably had the effect of weakening some of these centralized big media companies and creating a far more transparent world. So transparency can cut both ways. On the one hand, it makes things more transparent into people's lives, but maybe the transparency also goes the other way, and you have more transparency into the government or into other institutions. And that sort of is the positive spin on this increased transparency. It can actually lead to more accountability rather than less. Now, my other thought is that to the extent you do have this, I think one of the other trends that we are seeing that is definitely somewhat disconcerting, but maybe not be unambiguously catastrophic, is we are headed towards a world with far less privacy, and where the notions of privacy are going to change quite a bit, where there simply will be far more information about you in the public domain. And it seems to me that from a policy perspective, the correct approach should not be a sort of Luddite type of approach, which I think is championed by people like the ACLU and organizations like that, where the way we deal with this is we just smash the computers and break the databases and turn everything off. But rather that we have to have a society that somehow becomes more tolerant. And that's my hope would be that even if there's less privacy, there'll be more tolerance, and it'll sort of even out. The fear is, of course, that we will have less privacy and maybe even less tolerance because people will just use all sorts of details they find out about other people in all sorts of very distorted and bad ways. But I think that certainly is one of the ways in which it's been playing out so far.